My name is Bianca Esparza and I'm the president of ALAS. So ALAS is an Association of Latin American Students here on campus. We focus on highlighting Latin American students, and so that looks like academic events, social gatherings. People enjoy the events and like all of our hard work paying off. Seeing people feel represented, it was very, very rewarding. It's definitely strengthened my pride. I think my main goal as president is to, feel like we're a loud presence. I want to be loud because I feel like it's really necessary to not be ashamed of your pride, and that's something that I've come out of my shell a little bit about. But here, there is a good percentage of Hispanic students on campus, so it's really nice to come together and foster that community.